ň'huua ṭhechenna ṭhoikakak ḥaqqomer ṭhoa ḥap'ei ḥ'aa ḥqqomer ṭhai ḥaqqoaki ň'uuke ṭeenkusi ḥ'anklusi tyua ḥqqoaki ṭhoxaeke. Translation: Hello, boys and girls. My grandfather no longer speaks. He was very sick. He died. He no longer walks among us. He spoke this language, Nṟuu, the ṭeenkusi dialect of it. There are no more people who speak this language. The words of this language are mute. Language has died out. At least this dialect. And he wasn't really my grandfather, but since my real grandfathers died early, I used to call him like that, and I loved him as my grandfather. Oupa Andries was the last male speaker of Nṟuu language, and the last speaker of this ṭeenkusi dialect. He died this Saturday, and there are now, I think, 3 very, very old women who speak Nṟuu, but another dialect, the ṭhxokus. I visited regularly Oupa Andries in the years 2007 to 2011, each year for about 3 months, or 3 months I was with the Nṟuu speakers in the southern Kalahari at the Orange River, and spent most of the time with Oupa Andries. I remember when I first met him, I couldn't speak a word Nṟuu, I couldn't speak a word Afrikaans. He knew no English. Another language he knew was ṱ'uana, but I don't speak ṱ'uana either. I could learn Afrikaans in about 3 weeks, but I couldn't learn Nṟuu in 3 years. It was so complicated. I learned only the basics of this language. I could say the most basic things. I could understand Nṟuu speakers, but I couldn't really delve deep into the language and understand all of it. There are many unclear things left, and there is no speaker left who could teach us. It was very very strange. When I first met Oupa Andries, he didn't trust me, and he isn't the kind of guy who makes friends easily. But once I gained his trust, it was the most wonderful collaboration and friendship or collaborative relation we had. He was a wonderful storyteller. I loved his stories. He could talk so. He had great knowledge of lore, of Bushman lore, and knew sad stories, knew happy stories. Wonderful speaker. What could I tell you about the Nṟuu language? It's complicated. They have over 40 different of these click sounds you heard in the introductory part. It took me, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 weeks only to learn to pronounce them correctly. And they have these epiglottalized vowels, like you heard in the word walk. It's also hard for us to pronounce, but once you teach your articulation organs to do these sounds, you're quite fine and can start learning the language, or at least start pronouncing it so that they understand you. Things like this happen all the time. I don't know if you know, but in the next 50 or 100 years, thousands and thousands of languages will die out, just like ŋ'uu is dying out, and just like the ṭeenkusi dialect has died out this Saturday. If you decide to be a linguist, I implore, do documentary linguistics. Document languages as long as they are spoken. They are spoken now, and they won't be spoken in 50 years. Many of them. So, I don't know what to say. A minute of silence for Oupa Andries. I wish I had learned more of this language, but I have given up linguistics, and I don't know whether I will ever get into it again. I still can understand the language when I read it, not when I hear it. And I can hardly speak it anymore. There is so much these endangered languages can tell us, can teach us. If we want to know it, if we want to know them, we must do something now, because in 50 or 100 years, all chance will be gone. To Oupa Andries and ŋ'uu.